Welcome to the Unrefined Project. My name is Travis, and this is my buddy David. How we doing?
Actually, pretty good this week, yeah.
Nice. And this week we have Optimus Prime on boards. Optimus, how was it working with Shia LaBeouf, man?
Oh, it's been a terrible experience. I'm glad Mark Wahlberg took over.
I'm glad you were able to make it through your lines without breaking character. Speaking of it, I know this is a little off script, but I just want to say happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
And
appreciate it.
I got you a little something. This is from both David and myself and David's significant other. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick this up on camera, but This is actually a gold-plated silver 1 ounce round that I scored at one of our local coin stores. So we'll give that to you after the show, but we appreciate everything you do for us.
Let them know what's on the other side of it.
And
cool.
Yeah, mint evergreen. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You'll get to look at the NASCAR Silicon Motor Speedway. So, anyways, we love you, buddy, and thank you for everything you do.
Cool, thank you guys.
So,
speak for yourself.
Yeah, you might have some other things to say about that, but I'm going to kick it over to Dave for the down.
All right, so Travis has apparently a new book of the week. I haven't seen it. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. We're going to talk about the Fed raising the interest rates. It was inevitable. It has to happen, right? Obviously, Joe Biden got COVID again. They call it a rebound case. Almost like when he got, dumped by his first wife.
Or how he rebounded.
Joe Biden became the rebound, right?
Or how he rebounded off of the concrete when he fell on his bike. Oh, sorry.
We're going to talk about definition changes and stuff like that. That'll have to do with, the Fed and shit, and the recession that we are in. I fucking told you. All right. So we'll talk about the way they've changed the definition of some words. Nancy flies to Taiwan, on her broomstick.
Yes.
And then the House passes an assault weapon ban.
Dun.
That's what we got today. If you don't want to watch it, just watch it. Fuck it. Why not?
That's right.
Or
what
do you got better to do?
Or if you're not watching, you can listen to it on podcasts or anywhere podcasts are found.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere. You can find me naked on Facebook Marketplace. It's pretty cool.
That's right.
Rumble and OnlyFans.
That's right.
No, OnlyFans.
Grindr.
Grindr.
Yeah.
Wait,
Grindr.
Which one's Grindr?
The one that you're on.
I'm on J-Date too.
J-Date.
J-Date. J-Date. My bad.
So yeah, with that, so we've done a couple of books of the week. I don't know if you've figured it out by now, but I have a lot of physical copies of books. I don't really do the audio version of books. I don't really do the digital Kindle crap. I have physical copies.
It's the future.
Yeah, well, I'm very real about the future, and I feel like a physical copy of something that you hold near and dear to your heart is going to be a lot easier to access than something digital. I fear a lot of things digital are just kind of going to...
Yeah, I've seen his garage in his house.
Away.
It's a fire hazard.
Yeah, exactly. I like physical copies. So with that said, I also read to my children, and this is going to be our first children's book.
How do you read?
At a third grade level. Most of the time.
Same here.
But this is called an island called Liberty. It's by an individual named Joseph Speck, I think. Speck. And I just wanted to read the first 2 pages, so please humor me with this.
This is a kid's book?
Yeah, this is a kid's book. I read this to my children at least once a week.
Soundtrack going here.
All right. There once was an island called Liberty where people lived happy and free. Life was not perfect as any could see, but the islanders made it the best it could be. Some islanders rode bicycles, some drove in cars, some dressed quite drabby, some loudly in stars. Some drank sea punch, some smoked cigars. Some spent their cash freely, some saved it in jars. They didn't always like the style of so-and-so's brothers, but they knew they had no right to dictate the actions to others. As for island laws, there were only 2. First, do all that you've promised to others to do. Law number 2 is of equal authority. The pursuit of your happiness can be your utmost priority. But while you're free to do what you do, you must allow for the freedom that others have too. And while you're free to try out your wings, you must never cause harm to your peers or their things.
I got it. It's Cuba. It's Cuba.
That's right. That's right. It's pre-Castro.
It's Elliot Gonzalez.
It's island, right?
So, it goes on to talk about the woes of societal welfare and some other very interesting topics in here. It's a very, very good kids book. Like I said, I bust
You almost
this out
put me to sleep.
At least
that
once
was a good
week.
one.
It's solid stuff. It's solid stuff. There's widgets and wadgets in here. So, anyways, this is the book of the week here. Don't forget to read to your kids, guys, because it's important.
And if you don't have kids, have them.
Or read yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump into this shit right away.
Read a kid's book yourself.
Travis and I
read kids book as an adult.
So we'll jump into this right away. Travis.
Yep.
Him and I had very different views on what was going to happen with the interest rates. I know it's not super exciting, whatever, but it affects everybody, and it affects everybody in a major way.
Yeah,
right?
you're feeling it now.
Major way, right?
Whether you realize it or not. It's
and
you.
So what the Fed does is the Fed is trying their attempt to slow down the economy, right? So as Andrew Breitbart put it, it was too many dollars chasing too few goods is what inflation was, right? So the Fed will go through and raise the interest rate, and then the banks up their interest rate so money's not so cheap anymore. It's supposed to make the dollar a little bit stronger. It's going to slow the economy down, right? So that means they're purposely putting us in a recession. Now, they've defined that word differently lately, even though for the longest time it's been defined as 2 quarters of negative GDP growth, which means gross domestic product, right?
2 quarters in succession.
Which is 6 months. Yes. 2 quarters, one back to back.
Two consecutive
we have
quarters.
Hit that, right? We found out last Thursday we are in a recession, or we have negative GDP growth. Now, they're saying that that's not the true definition. I don't give a shit what you say. We're in a recession, right? They say, okay, since our jobs are so strong, the economy's still doing good and stuff. They're purposely trying to slow the economy down, which in turn, jobs usually lag a little bit. So, the job market may still be strong, but it's not going to be for long. I'm not trying to scare everybody. Just be good at your job. If you're not, go live under a bridge. But, that's what's going on now. Travis and I, we've talked about like, okay, I knew the Fed was going to raise the rates. They had to. There was no choice. He didn't think they were going to raise it as fast as they have. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be long, maybe 2-3 years until we get the next Republican in office. The rate will go down again, right? Mm-hmm. Everything will go back to normal.
You think they will continue to raise the rates to the point in which they said they would in the first place? Because that's kind of where we've had our disagreement.
Well, so to get out of this super high inflation that we've had, this 40-year inflation that we've, or 40-year record inflation that we've had, they have to raise it to about 6 to 7%.
Yes,
we're still only about 2 3/4 or 3% or somewhere around there. I don't know the exact number, but they just did. Last Wednesday they raised it another 0.75.
Yes,
75% basis points.
Yes.
So that's the attempt to slow the economy down. Get people to stop
soft landing.
Correct, but that's not. I don't think that's going to work. I think they're going to have to jump it up, make it hurt for about a year. Like I said, get your ducks in a row, get your shit together, make sure your house is in order, make sure you got food, make sure you're ready for it, because it's here, right? It's been here for a long time. They just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, when we've been feeling this day to day, we see this obviously in our grocery bills. There's some hot topic items that we've talked about as far as like gas prices and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, even more importantly, I feel on the topic of being prepared, just really try and create a budget. I know a lot of households don't have budgets. I've struggled to do that in my own household. But, really try and watch your spending, especially going out to eat, for example. Super easy to do. Hey, I'm tired. Don't feel like cooking. The kids are crazy. Whatever.
That's one of the most overlooked quick and easy things. People are like, I have no money left. What happened to it?
Well, it's because you just dropped
motherfucker, you just go out to eat every night, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is easy to do these days. I mean, going, to a restaurant with, 4 people.
You figure it's just, you and your girlfriend, you and your boyfriend, whatever you guys prefer, whatever. You and your Caesar.
Your dude.
Your dude, my man, bro. But even if you go to a burger place, it's $30.
Sure.
Okay, $30 a night.
Yeah. Say
you only do it 4 nights a week. That's $120 a week.
Yep. How
much is that a month? You know what I mean? That's $480 a month.
Yeah.
That's a car payment. car or boat payment.
What burger place do you go? It's cheaper at McDonald's.
Dude,
Oh, you know what? McDonald's going up too.
I've had this
Everything's
fucking
going up.
conversation. Hey, Optimus, listen. I've had this conversation with a lot of people in the last couple weeks. I had McDonald's. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Maybe
actually,
once
Optimus,
a year.
He wasn't here when we talked about this.
Oh, that's right.
This was 2
So,
weeks ago.
McDonald's makes me feel like shit.
Oh,
Right?
diarrhea.
It's instantly, right? You
Right?
eat it. It tastes so
Travis?
salty and delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we had that conversation 2 weeks ago, and you were out.
He
I
had
don't know what
monkeypox.
diarrhea. No, it was
Optimus
diarrhea.
got monkeypox from the moon. He was trying to uncover,
Shut up. I went back
Shut
to my
up,
planet.
Meg.
Yeah, you went back to your planet.
I just came back for a birthday.
Shut up, Meg.
No, but so where we kind of disagree on this is, I knew that they would kind of play ball with the plan that they presented to the American
Yeah.
people and, start raising interest rates. I'm very surprised that they have gotten as far as they have gotten.
With the interest rates, yeah.
I figured they would have throttled off maybe 2, even 3 interest rate.
Well, see, that's where you and I differ. They don't have a choice, right? Because they don't control the price of goods and services, right? Those prices are controlled by supply and demand.
Dude,
Let's be clear. They don't control anything at all.
No, you know
These
what I mean.
people don't
You know what I'm talking
control
about.
anything. They're just,
Hey.
seeing what sticks.
it's
Yeah.
literally $3.29 for a cheeseburger at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Is it really?
I saw recently
Right.
$3.29.
It used to
for
be
one
99 cents, right?
Exactly. Oh, under like 59 cents when we were kids.
Crazy.
I remember I used to smash like soft tacos. If it didn't have cheese on it, it was like 49 cents
Yeah.
from Taco
Yeah.
Bell, right? Like that.
39, 49, 59, wasn't it?
There we
Wasn't
go.
that the
That
whole
was-
thing? They
I
had
get-
the
I get like
burritos
6 of
to.
them.
yeah.
I choke on it because I was eating too much, like my child does now. I remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you spend the next 2 days in the bathroom. I totally,
But you're
I understand.
You're not
I've been
going
there.
to like even a fast food joint and spending $20 to feed.
No, not at all.
Right? Like it's not really
Not at
happening
all.
anymore, right? So that, again, that does affect us day to day. It does affect us even when we don't realize it. But my whole thing is like, do you think that this is a full on like Paul Volcker like?
No, this is not a Reagan-esque one. Not in the early 80s when they actually did it right. They made it hurt and sting real quick.
Right.
Got over the inflation and everything went back to normal. That's not how this one's going to work. They're soft pedaling way too much. So they're doing the little baby raises, right? If they go to the gate 6 months ago and said, all right, 5%, we'd be out of the inflation cycle right now. We'd be done.
Instead of trying to ratchet
It would
up
have
slowly.
hurt for some people, and it usually hurts the lower incomes at these points, right? But in the long run, that would have curbed inflation. There's multiple ways to get out of this.
Yeah.
They can get rid of some of their the shit what am I thinking of? How they tell businesses regulations. Kill some regulations in certain sectors of business and stuff like that. Pump more oil. That changes drastically, right? Because the price of goods is directly tied to fuel.
Yeah. It's
No matter
paid to
what
it,
you
whether
do.
or not.
Right? So there's ways to get out of it. They're not doing it. So they're doing it really slow, and that's just dragging it on. And it's going to make the rebound, not the COVID rebound, but the rebound a lot longer.
Yeah.
It really will.
Yeah.
Because they won't just hammer it home. All right, we're sorry. Here we go. Move on.
So, okay. So I guess here's my question for you. Do you feel that
I feel everything.
the reason behind the slow moves, do you feel as though it's sinister? Or do you feel that they're actually trying to do the right thing?
I think they know what the right thing is to do is to get rid of a bunch of regulations, pump more oil, allow these places with these land leases to pump the oil. They haven't given permits to do it. That will, and then raise the interest rate drastically. One shot, one kill. I know it's going to hurt. I completely understand that. But if everybody's got their ducks in order, that would work. But they're doing it because 3 months from now or a month from now, when they do another 0.75% interest rate raise, people won't remember the one they just did a month ago.
Sure.
Right. But if you do 5%, boom, they'll remember that.
Right.
Boom.
Right. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to memory hole every single interest rate hike that they have to do for political reasons. And it's
Midterms.
gonna make it fucking worse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, how else can you explain it?
Well, okay. So, I mean, this is how I always kind of felt about it, right? So the Fed understands that the United States dollar, i.e. the fiat that we all use to pay for goods and services, is a tool, right? It's a tool for their debt paradigm. It's a tool for, control. It's a tool to export our might and our power around the world.
It's a tool for trade is what it was originally made for, right?
Well, but it's not a tool for fair trade.
Not anymore. It's not based on anything real.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a number that they play around with.
It's just pegged and it's created by conversations and
supply and demand
and definitions that get changed, right? But so I figured either one of two things would happen. Okay, they would try and save the U.S. dollar and continue to use it as a tool to control the things that they can control.
Which they have made the dollar more expensive lately by raising the interest rates. It does actually creates it. It's not cheap to borrow money anymore.
Versus other currencies, though.
Versus other currencies, well, other places are having higher inflation than we are. I mean, our inflation is pretty high. There's some places that are doing better than us. But the dollar's not bad right now.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
It's just 1-to-1 with the euro, for example. So everyone's like booking their flight to Florence. Or
for the first time ever, right? Because the euro's not that old, right? But yeah, it's usually 175 or 150 to the euro, 150, 125 somewhere around there to the euro. The euro has dropped like a rock.
Yep.
They have massive inflation over there.
We're
they have no
kind
energy.
of stable compared to other currencies, just because a lot of people are flocking to cash right now to try and get out of other assets.
Yes.
Right. So it's kind of like
it's to help stabilize it, but we're still in for a world of hurt.
Yeah.
No matter which way you put it, there's nothing safe right now. Even gold and silver, they're better than a lot of the other options, but they're not safe right now.
Yeah.
Just because people are trying to stay away from anything that could possibly change, right? As compared to the dollar.
There's just a lot of manipulation in the precious market.
Metals
market.
Yeah, of course.
So we have that kind of the paper, for example, is being manipulated and the spot price is being dropped down. So it looks like it's cheaper.
What about crypto?
Crypto's tanked. It's coming back up a little bit.
Seems unpredictable now.
Crypto took a fat shit.
You know what, though?
It's always been unpredictable.
This whole
right,
taking a fat shit for crypto is actually really good for it, because it has proved that it is it's stable. It's not stable, but it has proved that it can withstand shit going down.
Yeah.
Right. So shit going down and it still being up there in price. That's good. That's good. I mean, it shows that it is
value, but it's over half. It lost over half during this last.
Yeah, but you're buying a Bitcoin for $22,000 still, right? One Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We started out with zero value whatsoever.
When I was up in the city a couple years ago, I was working with this dude that was like a crypto nut, and he was buying it at like $60. $60,000.
60. Yeah, it got up to 60,000 easily.
Yeah,
I think it went over a little more than that.
64 or something like that. So I mean,
but crypto, is to get people away from government-controlled dollars, stuff like that, which makes 100% sense. Decentralized, get it away from people. So it's there for a reason, and it is the wave of the future. It doesn't matter what anybody says. I think the
blockchain is definitely
maybe not the specific ones that are here now. Maybe Ethereum will go and jump up. Maybe Bitcoin might stay the king. Maybe Bitcoin dies off after they get rid of the proof of work, which is all the graphics cards doing all the computational, the calculations and stuff like that do the transactions. So a couple of the smaller ones like Ethereum and stuff, they're moving from proof of work because, it takes up a lot of natural energies, right?
Yeah.
Or a lot of energy.
Especially
lots of energy.
Especially in China.
Yeah. So there's a couple of them getting away from it. They're going to go to proof of stake. So as long as you own some, you're going to be the one doing those computations for the transaction.
It's going to be on the end user to essentially provide the ability
it's completely, you don't see any of it, right? You won't see any of that side. But as long as you own stake in it, basically you can make more by doing a transaction.
So you think it'll become like the actual creation of the
more you own
altcoins?
It's basically going to be interest, right? You're gonna make interest on them or stake on them, right? Which is just interest from transactions, and you're verifying those transactions. That's all you're doing. So if I want to send you 10 coins, right? Optimus Prime has 20. He might be doing the verification on it or part of that verification.
That's part of the security, right?
That's the security because when you go and buy something at the store through a credit card, it's got to go to the credit card person, Visa, the bank, or debit card. It's got to go through like 4 or 5 different people before it says approved. Right. And, there's little workarounds to it, but everybody knows everything. They're in bed with the government. Crypto is not.
crypto essentially is cutting out the middleman.
Crypto is completely cutting out the middleman. There's little pieces of transactions on thousands and thousands of different devices. And when they go move to proof of service or proof of stake, it's going to be thousands of little transactions based on how much stake you have. So it's basically you're going to make interest on it.
So
It's actually a pretty good idea.
I'm really happy you pivoted to crypto. I like that natural change there. But Optimus, you're from the future, man. What do you think?
It's not going to work.
No?
You guys are all fools.
Just a bunch of fake tokens and robot dicks.
So,
I think it's not gonna be a future currency.
No?
I think it will.
Because right now, it's just too popular. There's commercials.
Well, see,
ads.
here's
no, think about this. Buy it now, because before it used to be like an underground thing. People made millions, billions of dollars, and now it's like, I can still watch a football game or a race.
Well, here's your supply and demand.
Matt Damon,
Mr. Optimist.
hey, buy this.
Here's your supply and demand.
He's like, buy this.
You're talking about there's a lot of people in it. There's not as many people. If more and more people join up,
But it's so
the higher the prices go.
popularized.
It's not. It's really not.
It is advertised.
It's not. There's
is.
what's the
They're
country that
advertising.
switched over to that?
There's billboards.
Brazil? No.
Well, that's the point, right? They're trying to get currency away from the government. The government doesn't like it, but they don't have a choice, right?
So I noticed as soon as they started advertising, everything tanked. I went, oh, great, here we go.
No, that
We missed
doesn't
the
have to do with
fun part.
advertising.
It started tanking because the stock. It
has to do with
very
the
much
economy,
pegged to
right?
the stock market. I mean, it does.
It
the
used
ebbs
to
and the
do
flows.
opposites.
It wasn't before, but
It
now
used to
they
do
match.
opposites, right?
Yeah.
But now, as
Because it's so
people,
popular.
well, the economy's taking a shit.
El Salvador.
As people get
just adopted
scared,
cryptocurrency.
As
is
people
like
get scared, what do you think they do with any money they might have sitting somewhere? They get scared. They pull it. They need it in liquid.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's already withstood the
interesting.
6 months of this shit.
So you think people had like a knee-jerk reaction the same way that they had with the stock market?
Absolutely.
With cryptos, and
It's
they just-
110%.
rather
That
be-
is what's going on.
They'd rather be cash is king. They'd rather
Correct.
be cash.
So the goal of crypto, I would think, and where I see it going is I think it's going to be more, lucrative than the stock market. Dude, we've been on this. It's not old. It hasn't been around forever. Right? The concept is
11 years?
concept is great.
And,
it
Travis
makes
is-
sense. Get the government out of it.
Travis is right. He just mentioned what El Salvador.
El
Yeah.
Salvador and
Since-
also the
since
Central
20
African Republic.
Since I think 2015, 2016, El Salvador, you can go up to like a food truck or taco stand, and it says we accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But over there, they have it as like an ATM or credit card. So you load it into a card, go up there and pay.
Be like a prepaid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
So
that I saw that in 2015. Like, oh, this is the future.
I'm telling you, give it about 5 to 10 more years. Once it stabilizes, you're going to see something different.
Okay,
It's going to be different.
So, final question on this topic, and then we'll move on. So
No answer for you.
do
And no one did.
you
Chipotle's
feel
avocado price is going up. Why? Why?
well because McDonald's owns them and they're trying to pivot off of
Why
their
the
real
avocado?
estate deals
Yeah.
that are falling through right now. They had to close Haight-Ashbury McDonald's. Okay, they cannot keep up with this shit.
Oh, that.
What is wrong with you?
Everything. So last
Wait, how do
question.
you know that? In San Francisco, right? Haight-Ashbury?
Yeah. I used to frequent Haight-Ashbury. We would go buy our marijuana there when we were younger. We would actually go down to the park. We would go shopping. The hippie guy and with the dreads and the hat would have some stuff, and then you'd walk further, and the chick with the dog would have a little bit. Round up at the tennis courts, decide who you wanted to buy from, make sure they weren't a Fed, and then get a little something on the way back. Pick up some fries and a milkshake from McDonald's, and
It's closed?
it's gone.
All right. What's your last question?
Yeah, they had a lot of homeless.
You said you had one more question.
So I
right?
have one more question. Okay, so
You don't like McDonald's, huh?
I hate McDonald's.
Me? No.
Now I do.
I can't do
used to eat
McDonald's. It hurts.
I used to eat McDonald's all the time when I was a kid.
It literally
was
hurts.
Literally like what we ate, but now
Yeah.
I just,
We grew
I
up
just
on
don't
that.
do it.
It was like,
I did.
It was a treat.
I did, yeah.
It was a treat. Like, hey, let's go to
Happy
McDonald's.
Meal.
Get a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
I want my freaking toy.
Dude, we used to have the Burger King. We used to have the Burger King coupons.
Yeah.
Right. The like whatever their version of the.
You get the Whopper, a free Whopper with another Whopper purchase. Yeah.
Dude, we had so many, and it was like what we did at lunch. We would go to Burger King. It was like what we ate. We do that like 3 times a week. But
They screwed up when they changed the fries.
yeah, that
Like a
one.
Burger King. Yeah.
Yeah.
They started using fry cook oil with soy in it because they're trying to get all the testosterone out of the men, make us weak.
Great.
Okay, last question on this.
Just don't eat there.
So do you think that this is potentially an intentional move to destroy the the U.S. dollar and move and pivot into a central bank digital currency, a CBDC?
No, I don't. I really don't think I don't see that happening yet. I don't think people in the government, you give them too much credit. They're not that smart, right? They're really not. People are just people. There's only so many hours in the day. They can't plan shit like this. It's just not going to work, right? I think there was some unforeseen things. You can't keep everybody home for almost 2 years, or a year and a half, whatever we did. Pay them money to stay home. No production. Not doing a damn thing, and expect no inflation.
Yeah.
You can't do that, right? You've got to, if there's no production, there's no product.
Yeah.
If there's no product and extra money, you have exactly what I said earlier, what Andrew Breitbart said. Too many dollars chasing too few goods.
Yeah.
That is inflation to the max. It's a housing market here in California. That's
Well,
exactly that. There's not enough houses, so the price keeps going up and up and up and up and up.
It's also the
That's what's going
velocity
on
of money, right? Everyone expected people to sit on that cash, right? Everyone expected them to send checks to people and they were going to use it to pay for their mortgage or whatever, but that's not what happened. People went out and spent that money.
Correct.
They bought big screens and they bought
Correct.
TVs or cars and McDonald's.
110%.
Right?
If someone's going to give you money, you're going to go spend it. It has no value to you at that point, right? It's like when people, wife and I were talking about this the other day, because the Powerball was like 1.2 billion.
Right.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Yeah,
it'd be cool, but dude, it'd ruin your life.
Sure.
You didn't work for any penny of that. Maybe the $10 you spent to get the lottery ticket, it would ruin your life, right?
Well, if you're not financially savvy beforehand, you're not going to be magically become financially
There's
savvy
that.
after.
You
I
have
have to
no
correct you,
investment.
David.
What?
I have to correct you. It won't ruin your life. It'll ruin your kids' lives.
Yeah.
Or all the above.
They haven't worked.
Yeah. Look
They
at what
don't know
happened to
how-
Hunter. You know.
how to work. Exactly.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
all how you're raised.
We'll be fine.
People's
But
kids make the
it's
choices, right?
one of those things. It's
go
the
buy
same shit.
boats
If you
and
didn't
stuff.
work for it, you don't know the value of it.
Sure.
Right? You don't know how much hard work it took to get there. So it really ruins you. Mentality changes, everything changes.
It's like snowboarding. That's why a lot of people don't go snowboarding or skiing. You have to earn your turn. Right?
Yeah.
You got to get your fat ass up
You
on the
s-
ski
you
lift.
sit
You got
on
to get
your
to the top
ass
of the
for
hill.
days.
You got to,
Yep.
you got to earn your turn, right? So, okay. So, final word. Do you think they're going to continue on their path, do as they say, keep slowly ratcheting interest rates up?
I think they're going to.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna prolong the recession.
Okay. And I feel as though that they're not, whatever their target was, whatever they told us, 10 months ago or
I
whatever.
don't remember
the
what
fuck,
their target was.
I do not believe still.
They'll hit 4 to
that
5%.
That they will make it. I think they're going to backpedal. They're going to renege on their decision making. They're going to have
they
to drop.
They can't. Because they
Stay
can't.
tuned.
They can't
We'll,
change that.
We'll have updates on this as life happens. All right, bring us into the next topic.
All right. So should we go into definition change after that?
Yeah,
'Cause
we
I think
kinda
that
we
has
touched on
a
that a
little
little
bit
bit.
more to
We
do
touched
with
on
it
that a little
than
bit. Sure.
Bo Jiden.
Switch.
So as we're in a recession,
What is a recession?
so technically what we've used as the word recession since the word recession had come about.
Yeah.
It's not an old word.
No.
We have used it as 2 quarters of negative GDP growth.
Consecutive.
2 quarters consecutive negative GDP growth, which means
Gross domestic product.
gross domestic product. Yeah.
For all those.
So they have changed it and they keep doing this, right? There's been all the press releases and all this shit. They keep changing what it means. I guarantee you if Orange Man was in office right now, we'd be in a recession, full blown. Every fucking news channel would talk about it. Blah, 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 blah.
We would have been warned of this recession long ago. Right?
Yes,
6
correct.
months before it actually.
Correct.
Okay.
When
this
I
is
was
the
warning
first
everybody about it,
quarter of potential negative GDP growth. In 6 months from now, we are absolutely going to be in a recession.
Yes.
Good timing on that. Yeah.
That's a good definition.
That's funny
change,
because
right?
it's actually being redacted. Like the
word.
word recession is
Absolutely.
literally being redacted.
Absolutely.
Like that. And we've seen this in the past.
Semantic games, dude. That's all they do is they play semantic games. Joe didn't fall off his bike. He laid down on his bike. Just whatever they
Biden falls.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good thing. I don't know if anybody's ever searched. So on Google a couple weeks ago, hilarious. If you typed in Biden falls, it'd bring you to the place where he fell off his bike. It's a historical landmark.
Historical landmark on Google Maps. Some
in Delaware.
Some mad lad created, and shout out to
best troll ever. Whoever did it, that's awesome.
That's how we beat the algorithm. Everyone, we troll and we create memes, and I want everyone to remember where we were during the meme war.
Will there be a national monument
There should be.
At that point.
We should make one.
Yeah, absolutely should be.
Yeah.
And we put it out there, so someone's got to do it.
Yeah. So back to the point, though. Definition, they take words and they change the definition. It's called semantic games, right? They change, okay, this means this. Tomorrow it may mean something else. Well, they do that to play games. It's literally just political games.
It's gaslighting.
Right? It is, right? And they say, oh, we're not. Sorry, dogs are barking right now. I don't know why.
That's okay. We have dogs here.
Yeah, there's 2 dogs. But they do this consistently with everything, right? You've got recession's been changed, what it means. Vaccination, completely different than what it means.
That was the other one.
You know, it's that kind of stuff, right? So
there's been others. Comment down below if you can remember some other ones. We've gone through some very Orwellian definition changes in the last.
There's been a lot. There's actually been
4
quite a bit.
years.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to go, you know what? That's another question I have for the audience. If you were to go and want to buy a dictionary for your physical library, what year Webster would you buy? Like, how far back do you have to go
to buy 80s,
to get
90s,
like out of the woke bullshit?
80s or
1700s.
90s. Yeah.
1778.
Where it's not the, it's the.
Yeah.
It's the.
And they and thy.
Issues.
But yeah, so you know we've noticed
It's the I and them.
definition changes, even as hard as the White House press secretary is pushed on certain definition changes. They hold the line very well with these changes. So
Yeah.
so that should be good. Yeah, we can just briefly go over the Bo Jiden thing. He's in, he's out. He can't remember maybe if he actually has the disease still. So apparently,
Well, he looks like it. You know, you can tell.
So, you know, I thought it was interesting that we had some conversations popping up on the interwebs about this deep fake stunt double clone
Oh, that doesn't blink?
conversation about this really weird press conference he had, you know, and then all of a sudden he just announces like long COVID or resurgence or whatever. So
he had COVID, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? What, a week and a half? Something like that?
It was
Whatever.
after he got done spreading it halfway around the world. So whatever that was.
Yeah. Right when he got back from like Saudi Arabia or whatever it was. Fist bumped the fucking piece of shit out there. But there is, they gave him Paxlovid. Right? Or Paxlovid or whatever the fuck it's called, right? From Pfizer. Our best friend.
It's the same thing they gave Fauci.
Same thing. Yeah. And apparently it's just a suppressant, right? It suppresses the symptoms and, you know, the virus and stuff like that. I'm assuming it's kind of like taking an antibiotic. It'll suppress your, you know, whatever it is you have. If you stop taking it too early, whatever you didn't get rid of will come right back. Right? It's kind of like that. Maybe does it come back with a vengeance? Who knows?
Right.
But I guess it happens quite a bit to a lot of people. They call it rebound COVID. You know, it's like a, you know,
Basketball.
Yeah. So
Brittany Griner.
I don't know how safe this stuff is. I haven't done a lot of research on it.
Yeah.
It's Pfizer, so I'm assuming it's super safe.
Gotta be.
Safest stuff in the world.
Yeah, totally.
But, you know, also Pfizer just came out and they're going to stop making the vaccine. They're going to discontinue the manufacturing of it. Right? You should have beeped that, by the way, because we're going to get kicked off for that shit.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll wear it with a badge of honor.
It's going to stop producing it. You know, for how long, I don't know, until the next thing pops up.
So there's got to be enough out there in the wild. Or
I'm sure there's tons.
Or in, you know, strategic reserves.
More than we have in oil.
To last us for a while. You know, I'd like to open windows and see who jumps through them. But, so, you know, we've got this really weird kind of just lull. It's just this dragging on thing with this whole COVID crap and testing and vaccinations. I think more and more people are realizing that, hey, even if I take these shots, it's not going to stop me from getting this thing. So why am I taking these shots?
For some people that's done the vaccine, the boost, it's still severe.
So, you know, I have a little bit of personal interjection here. I have some individuals that are...
Is that a sexual innuendo?
No, it's not at all. This is me being serious for a second. You know, I have a lot of people in my personal life that are kind of on the fence about efficacy of this and whether they should continue to do this kind of stuff, even when they were super staunch about it in the first place. And staunch. You heard my whistles of my
staunch.
But you know, I just want to say to everybody quickly, if you feel a certain way about whether or not something is helping you and you're being pressured into do something against your gut feeling, please just stand on your morals and stand up for yourself and say no. I've been saying no for a long time now, and I would really enjoy it if people started saying no.
Wait, I thought sometimes no means yes.
Pretty much.
That's what the HR department told me.
Every time someone says no, that means you just keep going, right? Because that's what no means. You just keep going. But
No means no.
there's these revelations. There's more knowledge. There's more information coming out. I encourage people to stay up to date on this, and really make these decisions based on how you feel and not whether or not you were pressured into.
You're giving people too much credit.
It's
You really are.
man.
It's much easier to have structure and just have somebody say, "Hey, go do this." Okay, I got it. There's people run.
But if you have this gut feeling, and that your gut is telling you something,
a lot of people
and
don't
you're
have
pushing
that
back
gut
against
feeling.
that, you need to stop doing that.
A lot of people don't have that gut feeling that you're talking about. A lot of people don't. They just, that guy knows. He's better than me at this. So I'll listen to him, right?
Not
after 2 years. But at the beginning, everybody relied on what people were saying that were smarter than them.
Media.
And for some fucking reason, people put media and stars and movie stars and football stars and basketball stars, they put them up higher than them, and they assume that they're telling them the truth because they think they know more than them because they're rich.
Yeah.
No,
that's not how it works.
No, it's because they're in movies.
Absolutely.
Well, you were in
that's all it
movies,
is.
Optimus. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying is they don't.
I try to stay humble. I go back to my planet in the future.
Would you ever do like a Pfizer commercial and try and say that like the vaccine is the Allspark or?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No?
But that's that.
I'm not going to do the boosters because that's pretty much like an update, like a software update.
True.
So
Don't want to go late.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't want to have rampancy.
Yeah. A corrupt software update.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of flying all over the world and fist bumping people,
Oh my god!
we can go
All right, so
we can go into our next topic.
Nancy
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead.
fucking Pelosi.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say this. I think I have better segues than Michael Knowles. That's a call out right there. I would challenge him to have better segues than I. I don't have any.
no, see, he
advertisements
wouldn't have done it like that. He would have put an advertiser in there.
yet. Well, we don't have advertisers yet, so I just have to segue from topic to topic. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a run for your money, Michael. Let me know.
Sponsored by Segway Scooters.
There we go.
Drive it off a cliff.
So another thing I guess you could say in culture that kind of mixes politics with culture is old NP, old Nancy P is taking a little aeroplane ride.
Fuck Nancy Pelosi. No, it's not an airplane, dude. She's on a broom.
Right. Whatever the upgraded version
She put her
that they were
wings.
using to play.
She put her fucking devil wings away, and she jumped on a broom
But she has an escort
and a bottle of booze
and definitely like first class.
and a whole bottle of benzos. So
Missed it.
That was a short bleep. So there's this whole PR stunt. I think it's just a giant fucking distraction from her Nvidia stock dump that she lost a bunch of. Nvidia. I did write Nvidia there, not the graphics card producer.
And by the way, when I was doing the rundown at the beginning, I said Japan because this dude wrote China.
But
she actually went to Taiwan.
Well, but
not
according
China.
to Gigi, that's China, bro.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like,
but he's
that's China, guys.
Open
Like,
Pandora's box right now. Here it is.
I don't know what we're arguing about here. Like that's
Yikes.
it's just knowledge.
we don't live over there, so who gives
That's
a
a
shit?
bad point of view to
just
Yeah.
knowledge,
listen to.
you guys. That's China. So So anyways, I don't know if Nancy realizes this or not. I know she had to get her hair done and go into that salon when everyone else wasn't able to cut her hair. But we have this little thing going on.
It was a
called
blowout.
a pandemic. And what's wrong with Zoom, Nancy? Like, can't we just do these meetings over the internet?
She's got some stock purchases to make. What are you talking about?
Huawei.
So if I'll give people a little backstory, I guess, to this NVIDIA stock. So Nancy Pelosi's husband, he is I guess you can call him a day trader, whatever. He's a piece of shit too.
He is a drunk driver.
He is a drunk driver, and he's a piece of shit just like his wife. He buys stocks for a living, right? He buys and sells stocks and stuff like that. And Nancy helps pass the laws that put regulation or take away regulations away from these companies that he's buying stock from. So, a little insider knowledge for them. we are going to start mass amounts of chip manufacturing here in the United States.
Yes.
Mass amounts. NVIDIA's, obviously, they're already a chip manufacturer, graphics card manufacturer. They got tons of chips, right? Tons of different things they make. They're going to start doing in-house manufacturing here in the United States. So, and it's going to be approved by Congress. Well, Nancy Pelosi is in Congress, and her husband spends about $5 million or some astronomical number on NVIDIA stock. While the entire stock market's down, that's a little fishy to me. He buys mass amounts of NVIDIA, knowing that they're going to be given the okay and subsidized through taxpayer money to build chips, right? Because it's kind of a security threat, right? And I guess they've already passed it through the House or whatever. It is kind of a security threat that we don't have anybody to make all our IC chips and everything that we're doing other than Taiwan.
He sold 5 million.
He sold 5 million.
Jeez.
Right? So he knows they're playing games, and he knows something nobody else knows. Why? Because his wife is there helping make the laws, and writing these,
Because
all this shit, right?
What does she do again?
Oh, she's in Congress.
Oh, right. She's in Congress. So I think there's a word for this, right? Like, isn't there like
insider trading?
Oh, man. Yeah. These phrases, with all the definition
Yeah.
changes,
No. That's
these
been
phrases,
defined out of there.
they just escape me, right? So it's good
unless you're
good
Martha
say it out
Stewart.
loud. Right.
And you got a tip on a stock.
Now, see, there's a couple of parallels we can draw between Nancy Pelosi and Brittany Griner, okay? Let me just humor me here.
Explain to everybody who Brittany Griner is.
Brittany Griner is the fool that thought she could bring a controlled substance into literally one of the worst countries to bring a controlled substance is to like bounce a ball for millions of dollars. And allegedly, she had this on her when she was searched, or she was there for weeks and still had it.
Knowing it's illegal there already.
Knowing full well that she's not supposed to have it. Maybe taking selfies while puffing the pin in front of the Statue of Lenin or whatever. But
you got to get LeBron to do that too.
She got busted, bro. She got busted and she got taken into custody. Supposedly, this has not been confirmed nor denied. She complained that her rights were not read to her when she was taken into custody in Russia. So, yeah, I mean, this is...
What an easy life we got here.
This is a failure of our education system and a failure of decent, respect to other countries' rules and laws. Yeah. So now there's a little bit of a prisoner exchange going on. And without going too far into the weeds of that, we're giving...
All right, I get a deal for Russia. Take it right now. We will give you Kaepernick, Griner, LeBron, Colbert.
Yeah.
And every fucking anchor on CNN. You take them, and we'll give you every prisoner we have here of yours.
But
so you take them all.
They don't want them.
They don't want them.
I know, but that's a good deal.
They need their merchants of death back. So there might be a couple of other... but
that's the trade they're going for.
The problem is, even Bron isn't dumb enough to take weed into Russia.
No, he's dumb enough.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He hasn't been busted for it. He's played over there before. He
probably doesn't bring it with him anywhere.
He has a Uyghur hold it
probably.
For him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't busted for it.
He's that dumb.
I don't know. I feel like, it's basically like kind of in your face, like, and you got busted for it. So now it's this whole political spectacle, big distraction from what's actually going on. Like you can't afford groceries and it's harder to fill your tank with gas, etc. And we're trading her for a merchant of death. However,
that's his name. That's what they call him.
His nickname is the Merchant of Death. He's a
prisoner here right now?
Yes.
Correct. He's a arms dealer that got busted. Actually, the movie Lord of War was loosely based on
Nick Cage,
him. With Nick Cage, right? So prevalent, bad guy, right? Bad guy. So we have all of the people sitting in jail right now in the United States for a petty weed charge, watching a millionaire get bailed out. Well, maybe 100,000 I don't know how much the WNBA makes, but she's getting bailed out essentially for the same shit that people got busted for in here when it's like protected and legal in like half the states.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have that meme when like the cricket coach is like watching, right? You have that meme, and then you also have Martha Stewart doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart is literally watching people do the same exact shit that she supposedly did and not go to jail for it.
Yeah, but she wasn't in Congress.
You know what's amazing?
Justice is supposed to be blind.
What did she say? She wasn't her rights was
She
violated.
complained that she didn't have her Miranda rights read to her.
It's
Yeah, they
should
don't
not
do that
know
there
this is a
probably.
communist state.
It's not. They're not.
Yeah,
Right.
China.
They're a democracy
Russia.
also.
No, Russia is technically it's supposed to be a democracy. After the fall of the Soviet Union, they're socialist, communist, same shit. Don't care.
They're all
Fight me.
different flavors of Marxism.
Don't care what anybody says. Socialism is communism. Communism is socialism.
is Marxism.
If you don't like my fucking definition,
Change
buy
it.
a newer Webster dictionary. Change that shit.
I
If
still
you
have
don't
my,
like it,
I still have my dictionary
me.
from 1700s.
Yeah. But they're supposed to be a democracy, but you know damn well none of their what's called
Bundle of sticks.
are true.
Yeah, well, I mean, Putin's
None of
been
their elections.
head guy as long as the dude in China, as long as the Queen of England. I mean, these are figureheads, right? There's no real
God, I can't believe she's still alive.
dude. There's this montage of her like having photographs with every president since like Reagan,
Yeah.
and it's her just like looking the same. I swear she's a vampire, dude.
We just saw actually the other day the progression from when she was a kid to now on the money. Someone did a little cut on a video of how she's aged through there, and dude, I cannot believe she's still alive.
it's wild. I mean, adrenochrome.
And she had
dude.
COVID.
You
That's
got
crazy.
adrenochrome, and you
Yeah.
you live forever. It's a fountain of youth. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be learned.
It's fish and chips.
Like, yeah, chips are good though.
Fish and dicks.
Down with chips.
Do you like fish dicks?
Only when I'm. Who is that? Yeezy? Who's in that South Park episode? Is that Kanye?
Yeah, it was Kanye.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fish sticks. Yeah. Do you
Like fish sticks?
Do you like
only
put
when
in
I'm
your
kicking.
Yeah.
Only when I'm kicking it with the Kardashians.
mouth? What are you, gay fish?
But
Something wrong with you.
yeah,
boy.
so hey, next time, Nancy, instead of doing like a political stunt and trying to like distract people from all the insider trader that you're doing, just like hit us up on Zoom or hit whoever you're going.
You know
to
what?
go see on Zoom.
Nancy Pelosi, I fucking hate you. That was a perfect beat. Thank you, Optimus. But if you've got some more stock trading tips for me, I'll take them.
We're all ears.
I'll take them.
Yeah,
Just me.
we'll listen.
Just leave us a comment down below.
You're
I want
nobody.
I want your
You're
stock tips.
All right,
You're nobody.
get this.
If you elbow some kid in the head, then you can do it.
Oh my, yeah. We
you see
talked
that?
about that a couple weeks ago
Oh,
too.
you did? Oh, I missed
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
You had diarrhea.
right.
That was funny.
You had monkeypox diarrhea, right? So it was. That we actually touched on that a little bit. I mean, who does that shit? You're an adult,
Just
dude.
straight
Like, set a better
shudder.
example, man. All right, so this is something that just like really, just personally just kind of gets me. So this is kind of last thing I wanted to talk
It's
about.
my hand.
I was trying not to get fired up about this in the beginning. So I don't know if any of you know this or not, but the House, which is a body of our federal government,
Useless.
just passed a reinstatement with some amendments and some changes of the 94 assault weapons ban. It's called House whatever, I don't care, 1500 something. And I watched them voting on this live, and especially after Bruin was just handed down and the SCOTUS just, spend a lot of time talking about what the Second Amendment means to the individual civilian as opposed to a militia. They literally cheered with thunderous applause as they read the tallies of the votes. And, it doesn't really mean much to a lot of people who don't realize the process. This now has to go to Senate. Senate is a little bit more of a difficult vote to get.
A lot less people.
A lot less people. You only have 100 people in the Senate for 430 or
And unless
whatever is
you're
in
using
House.
the reconciliation tactic, you got to get 60 votes, not 50-50.
I really don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think it's more of a like, again, distraction.
Yeah, it's a show, right?
all
Look
political
what
theater.
we're doing over here. We're doing exactly what you need.
But
vote for me.
On the interwebs, I see a lot of people kind of talking about like the potential implications of this, if it ever made it to Joe Biden's desk, what it would mean, etc.
It would mean that he wouldn't even see it.
No,
He wouldn't even know what it was.
Kamala would sign it.
Hey, come on! What is this piece of paper? Hey, man, come on, man.
I mean,
come on.
what is this?
Here's the deal, man.
What is this malarkey that I'm signing here?
What is this, man?
It's,
come on. Is that a pen? Is that a pen you got there, man?
We are pushing
You
further
guys are
and
too hard on
further.
him.
Where's my bike? Where's my bike?
He's a 95-year-old man.
Where's my bike?
I mean,
Dude, he's only
What do
79.
you expect? 96, whatever.
79.
look, man.
97.
79 years
Still.
young.
Someone that old should not be in that job. Straight up. I don't care who you're a fan of. I don't care who you like or who you dislike. There needs to be a cognitive age in which you're like, you know what? Look, I love my grandpa.
You know what though?
Man.
There's some older people that are sharp. There's some. You know, it all depends.
Only
right?
at times though.
Only when
they're on.
You know, but it can change in a second. It
That's
literally could change in a second, right? And then they're never the same.
My grandfather's 83 years old. I love the man to death. He's a hero of mine. He's a total role model. Sharp as a tack. The guy is a gangster. He was an accountant. He was involved in his community. He raised 2 awesome children. It was awesome, okay? But he's 83 years old. The guy forgets stuff now. I mean, he has conversations with my grandma, and, you know, he doesn't necessarily remember everything that was discussed, or he'll put something, just the small things, right? Again, I love the man to death. He's still a role model. He's still a patriarch of the family. I don't want him running the country, dude. Like, there's a problem with that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you this. Does he have a driver's license?
He does.
He drive?
He does.
He still drives.
Still drives. He used to ride motorcycles a lot. That's where we all got our like off-road camping motorcycle jam from. He hung his helmet up maybe 5-6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was, you know, there's this old timers club in off-road dirt biking, and they all, I think it's 55 and above to get into the old timers club. You know, yeah, a lot of my grandpa's friends rode until the day they died, right? But my point is there's a lot of major stress and a lot of major quick decision making that needs to happen on the fly. You have to be on all the time. We see younger men like Obama, for example, that had struggle at time keeping up with the pace of the job. And there's all this beating around the bush of cognitive decline and mental fortitude and all this.
Did you just bad?
Not the bush that he fell into off of his bike. I'm talking about, you know, not talking about the conversation.
Is that what they call Nancy now?
The bush.
The bush.
But I just, you know, I'm just tired of like the dodging of the bullet, right? Like these are realities that we're all talking about. So let's just be real, right?
Yeah.
So with that aside, there was a lot of conversation online about, you know, well, you know, I'm really happy that there's grandfather clauses in this, right? Like kind of, I already got mine kind of thing. And it's the whole I'm pro Second Amendment, but that just drives me crazy. If you understand what the Second Amendment is and how it enshrined our natural rights in a written document, it acknowledges it, it doesn't give that permission, then you would understand that this entire conversation of gun control, how cops should and federal agents should be the only ones that have guns.
You know what? I got an idea. Anybody who doesn't like the fucking Constitution, the way it was written, get the fuck out. Unpopular opinion, go to Canada. You don't want rights, go to Canada.
Or the UK.
If you want to sit there and bitch about, oh, well, you don't need this, you don't need that, doesn't fucking matter what you think. It makes no difference. I don't care.
Well,
you know, the Constitution was written the way it was. Oh, your words hurt my feelings. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if my words hurt your feeling, right? Be 100% offended,
Nice.
right?
Be offended.
Be
You
offended.
know? That was the point, okay? This is not Canada. This is not any other country. This is the United States of America.
Yeah.
We have a Constitution for a reason. It is very offensive for a reason.
Well, I wanted to present
Right?
it. I wanted to present a
created
default.
greatness.
I wanted to present like a default place to start in your thinking. If you're questioning any portion of the Constitution or any one of the Bill of
Then
Rights,
beat it.
then figure out why you're questioning it. Educate yourself on why it was written the way that it was written in the time that it was written, and understand the context of the situation and what they just got done doing and what they were just dealing with and what they were attempting to create for the future.
Yeah.
And you'll realize that your thinking in the moment is completely wrong. You educate yourself.
Well, people will say like, "Oh, this is a revision," because that was back then. Just like what you said, the dictionaries.
Yeah, just like they said.
1700 versus today's dictionaries.
Yeah, and that's the problem is they play word games. The
Bundle of
Constitution,
sticks back then is different now.
but
Right.
the Constitution was not written to be changed according to time, right? When the Second Amendment was
Modern
written,
interpretation.
they had automatic weapons. They had the puckle gun. They had cannons. They had all this stuff.
They had privately
You know,
owned warships.
There was people that would get sad when their
Sick.
feet. Yeah, they did.
Privately owned warship with privately owned cannon.
Ton of them.
On
Tons of them.
the boat.
Tons of them. You know, and there was people that would get offended by shit you'd say to them But guess what? Suck it up, buttercup. Move the fuck along. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Emotional
Okay? See?
damage.
Exactly, emotional damage. Nobody cares about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. They don't affect me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be a dick, and I'll be as nice as I can to people, but that niceness has a line.
Yeah, people
Right?
just try and equate the Constitution and the Bill of Rights to something that is changing, right? They talk
It's
about
not, though.
They
That's
talk about
the
the
problem.
Constitution
Yeah,
as
yeah.
being a living document.
It's
and
not.
This is all revisionist bullshit.
It's better than
That's
being
all.
a dead document, which is what they're making it now.
That's what they're trying to do.
You know?
It's definitely what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Again, that was our first physical copy for everyone's physical library was a copy of the Constitution
Yep.
and your Bill of Rights. That should be your go-to, right? If someone is talking some nonsense about why people should be able to own X amount of firearms, none of that matters. I don't care about
There
the
was
details.
there
or
was not
intricacies.
one single thing in there about that. Nothing.
They named rifles by name, like manufacturers that millions and millions of people own. They named by name in that bill. And in theory, if it were to pass through the Senate and make it to the president's desk, become law, would make millions and millions of law-abiding citizens.
You know, that kind of shit makes
Criminals.
me wonder. At one point, and I'm not advocating for this at all, but at what point does the overthrow of the government become inevitable?
Yes.
I'm not saying do it now.
Yes.
Are we at that point? I don't think so. But at what point
I love it.
does that happen, right? Because you really do have more than half the country are on the side of freedom. Mm-hmm. More than half the country. They may not vote like it all the time, but more than half the country is like this. California, obviously not. California is a lost cause. Everybody's so prissy and been spoiled here for so long. They don't know what it's like to actually have a hard day's work, struggle, anything like that. But at what point is that going to happen?
Well, I'm
When cars turns into robots, that's when.
Wait, you are a car robot.
Wait a minute. Oh no, I'm a semi truck.
I thought we didn't have parking
close
for an
enough.
18-wheeler here.
I got my guns on me.
So
I
I'm
should
just,
see his mom's house.
I'm happier than a puppy with two peckers that you brought that up because here is why. Okay, this is why.
Hey,
I brought
now that
this
you
up.
talk about that, I am a puppy.
You can identify as whatever you want for the next 4 minutes while we wrap this podcast. But this is why I brought this up. I saw a lot of idiots online saying, well, I'm just happy that there's a grandfather clause. It's like, what would you have done had there not been? Like, you're over here talking crap about how you're going to do all of this stuff, but you get to keep your rifles. Yeah. What about the future generations?
Yeah.
What about the potential culture that's going to die that you don't get to hand those down to your children or teach them about safe firearm handling?
It's
right?
the same shit we've been saying. Hard men create good times. Good times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. Hard times create hard men. And it's this ever evolving circle of stuff. I know quite a bit of soft men that will not make it through the hard times. I really do.
That's an accurate statement, dude.
They can't.
A lot of soft.
That fucking guy won't. Takai, he won't make it through hard times, right?
Oh, this guy.
Well, I guess he has made it through hard times, but not the hard we're talking about.
Well, he survived monkeypox so far, so we're good to go, dude. We're good to go. But I don't know.
Star Trek bathhouse.
Like, honestly, like that was one of the big things. That was one of the big things that I saw during this conversation is like, oh, well, that would have been my line in the sand. It's like, no, it wouldn't have been. Dude, 3%.
It's amazing how far they can push people.
3% of the population is all it took for 1776 to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why they call it 3%, right? 3% of the population. You think there's more than 3% of the population that is fed up with what the fuck is going on in this country right now?
We're not advocating it. Just 110%. We are not
These
advocating
are
for it.
hypothetical conversations
but
that just
if-
two guys on YouTube are having.
Yeah.
Right? We're not. We're just guys. Well,
But if
Spot-
shit
Spot
goes
there, whatever.
down, I got my food. I got my fishes. I got
don't
my
know.
dogs.
Look, at the end of the day, all I have to say, much like with these vaccine mandates and shit, like, look, at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's not going to be this big thing. It's not going to be this giant crowd that you get to join. It's not going to be a bunch of people applauding you as you like make your decision. It's going to be you standing in a hallway with some guy that's supposed to be in charge of something telling you to do something, and you just say no.
That's it.
And at the
That's
end of
it.
the day, this is all I have to say right here.
No means no. I will not comply.
That's all I got to say. So
For anybody listening, his shirt says "I will not comply," and there's a penis above it and a flag.
giant penis with a bunch of
Emotional
with a
damage.
bunch of monkeypox all over it. All right, yeah, that's all I got. I got fired up about it. I'm tired of people like trying to make me a criminal. So
Yeah, I think we need to. I think we need to stop making men women. That'll change everything, right? That'll make the world. Some parts of it will be rougher, like George Takei likes, but some parts will be, they'll better, right? We need strong men. We don't need weak men. We don't need men telling other men what they can and can't own in their lives. We don't need that.
Yeah. We also
need this.
We also need men to like shake hands again. Can we do that again? Can we just like, acknowledge another man's existence?
Dude, I was all in on the dick bumps. All in on it.
Oh,
Docking? You were just docking everyone?
Yeah. That's assuming both or one person's.
All right,
we don't want to hear that.
We're at an hour. We're at an hour.
Let's
Let's send us out of here on this one.
All right. Send us out of here. All right. Same thing I say all the motherfucking time. Get the fuck up. Move.
That's right.
That's all I got for you today. Stay healthy. Stay happy. What does Ron Burgundy say? Stay healthy. No, I forget what he says.
Like his sign-off
San
line?
Diego.
Yeah.
Stay classy.
Stay classy,
San Diego.
Yeah. But that's all I got for you. Stay healthy. Get up. Move. Eat some good food.
Hell
Enjoy
yeah.
your life. Take a vacation.
There we go.
Definitely take a vacation.
There's our ender right there.
That shit clears your mind.
We were planning on doing a little show from out in the wilderness last week.
But we were having
didn't
too much
happen.
fun.
We
Yeah.
were enjoying ourselves, so it didn't happen. But yeah, get out, enjoy the wilderness. They might close these trails one day. They might close these campsites one day. Right? They won't allow.
And if you're out in the
recreating,
woods, you gotta pee on a tree.
or hug
Gotta
it,
try it.
pee on it, then hug on.
Pee on it.
Yeah.
Just you're one with nature at that point for just a quick second, a little spurt.
It's a good time. Get
Yeah.
outside, enjoy your family. Be healthy, eat good food.
And have fun. And we will see you probably next week. If not next week, the week after. We should have one out next week.
Yeah, if you get it, you get
Yeah.
it. If you don't, you don't.
And if this one bored you a lot, well, there's some things you need to reconsider in life and take a look at what's going on in the economy. Fuck politics. Fuck the culture. How's your pocketbook? That's all I got.
This has been another episode of The Unrefined Project. Thank you very much for listening. We love you guys.
Deuces.
Peace.